One of the biggest scams on the internet today is something you never thought would be a scam, and it's networking. People going to networking events and forcefully trying to meet others within the industry. It's not working.
Okay, let's talk about how a lot of these businesses and events or whatever, they take advantage of small Black business owners.
If I have one piece of advice for anybody who's in the events industry, the wedding industry, or honestly, if you just provide a service or a product or whatever it might be, is to always trust your gut. And I'm so happy I did this because last week I almost fell victim to a scam.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and today we're going to be talking about scam events, hype without substance. So, scam events lure people in with promises but rarely deliver. From fake celebrity appearances to underwhelming stops, the experience often feels misleading. Attendees spend money expecting something special only to face disappointment. These events highlight how hype can be used to exploit trust. So guys, without further ado, let's dive into the videos and watch.
So this whole queue of people is not the queue for Teddy Swims. It's the queue of all the people who have bought tickets on Viagogo, who have now lost their money and essentially been scammed. Viagogo has been selling tickets that they were not authorized to sell. And these are all the people queuing to see if they can exchange their tickets for a valid ticket, and it's safe to say that the answer is no, because we've already queued and there are no more tickets. So yeah, they're going home any minute now, just like us pretty much. Immediate thoughts after being scammed?
I think that Viagogo has a responsibility to compensate people who have been really let down tonight, and I also think Teddy Swim's reputation shouldn't be damaged by the mismanagement of Viagogo and Ziggo Dome. And I think if you just look at the line, there's a lot of really unhappy people tonight, so that's a real shame, bad vibes.
Dan's immediate thoughts after being scammed?
Fuck Viagogo.
Oh sure guys, you see, not good, definitely not good. What do you think about that, guys? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. It's really important for me. I've tried to grow this channel, you know, and I will be very happy to read all your comments here. Also, if you want to support the channel, I have a referral links down below, and I will be very happy if you will use it just to support the channel. It's up to you guys. Okay, let's dive to the next video and watch, guys.
Honestly, I wish it was clickbait. It isn't. This is the biggest scam I've ever attended. Just take one look at their website or social media and here is the experience that we had versus what they advertise. I'll tell you what we got. We got a kit that was missing parts, so my partner had to go back and get another kit. We got one pen. The live music for mindfulness was this. Some random cabin. I got a tiny bit outside, but it's so windy out here. You pay £30 for a ticket and it's a singular heart. They advertised unique stalls, loads of food vendors with a barbecue shack, and this is the price that we were paying. And they say that they also said that they're gonna release the lanterns at 9:30, but they've just rushed us and said we're releasing in 10 minutes, it's not even 9 o'clock, is it? We never received an email with the comprehensive event guide either. So, we came late because we thought we'd have loads of time, but maybe they've realised, right? We thought there'd be stalls, there'd be nice vibes. It was a shack. £30 event, but it's giving lowest I can't wait to put a lantern or a 5-foot drop next to a crisp packet. The event was so badly organised, it was just security men shouting at you randomly. Now we're being directed to a rap. It felt like we turned up to something that had been arranged 5 minutes before. There was no signage, there was no direction. One of the security guards was making jokes about drugs and it was just wild. There was kids around. Found a lake. What is it called? A ramp. But other people have been directed to yeet their yeet their lanterns a metre off the thing. Honestly, what on earth is going on? But also, when I filmed the biggest moment of the century Teddy flashlight was going. Where's the water start? There we go. Wow. Jet ski in the distance. What is going on? Oh god. They've all fallen in. Oh god. Yeah. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Your lantern either float or sunk or got stuck in the bay. There was people with wheelchairs that couldn't access to let their lanterns off. I think I spent more time putting this video together and editing this than I did at the event. We literally came and went.
Yeah, I feel sorry for this couple, you know, as I understand their experience with this event was not so good, definitely, so I hope the next event gonna be much better for them. Okay, guys, let's dive to the next video and watch.
Enlighten me, why do people go to stadiums? What is so attractive about a stadium event as opposed to watching it at home? First of all, the crowds, the traffic to get to the stadium. Second of all, the likelihood of attack, especially in America. Third of all, the waiting times, the uncomfortable seating, or you have to stand for hours and hours before the actual event starts. The surveillance, the ID checking, the, likelihood of people spilling drinks on you. And then when the event starts, if you are not in the top 1% seat, you're most likely going to watch it from a screen anyways. So why even be there? Why would you go there? You're looking at a screen instead of looking at the tiny people that are somewhere on stage, whether it's in a boxing ring or a performer, a singer, being on stage. Like, you don't see them anyways. Just go it and wait until you can watch it on TV. Why would you go there in person? I don't get it. I don't get what people find so attractive about the experience. Unless, of course, you have money to pay for VIP tickets where you're right there. Outside of the boxing ring, and you see their faces, and you hear every single word that they exchange with their trainer or with their coach, and I get the excitement there, but not if you're far away from the stage or from the boxing ring. So I would love to hear your thoughts and find out why so many people go to stadium events where they can't see shit.
Yeah, good thought from this lady, definitely. So what is the point, to be somewhere far, far away on stadium where you cannot see this, I don't know, the performance of the boxers or singers. So as she just want to say that only probably if you have the VIP tickets, only you can attend this event. But in other case, just stay at home. What do you think about that, guys? And is it true or not? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I will be very happy to read all these comments. Okay, guys, let's dive to the next video and watch.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that about Eventbrite either. Like, I don't understand why you would let people make events without having any verification on whether that event's like a real thing, especially if you're going to be taking money from them. And like, what makes it weird is like I used Eventbrite several times for other raves, like down in Houston, because I'm up here in Austin, and like never had any issues. Went to Melanie Martinez, never had an issue. Like, I've been to now 12 raves because I'm getting into raves, and like literally never had any problems. When we were up there, Dad talking to them, they were like, "We've never used Eventbrite," and I'm like, "Yes, you have. I've literally bought Eventbrite for Concourse before, and they work. Like, I literally bought them for half scrap." What are you talking about? So the fact that they were trying to claim that, oh, we've never, it's like, yes, you have. Stop bullshitting me. This is bullshit. And then on top of that, they only notified everyone like on one measly little X tweet, and who the fuck uses X anymore, and one little story the night of the thing. And I bought these tickets a month in advance. But what makes this even more annoying is what Eventbrite has posted online. So Eventbrite says that they take data privacy and security very seriously, that they take steps to make sure that everything is verified and that they comply, right? Why do you have that? Why do you have a whole article on how to avoid scams on your website if you take data and privacy and security very seriously? Because it kind of seems like you don't.
Yeah, interesting thought for this lady, so let me know in the comments below what do you think about that. Let's dive to the next video and watch.
If I have one piece of advice for anybody who's in the events industry, the wedding industry, or honestly, if you just provide a service or a product or whatever it might be, is to always trust your gut. And I'm so happy I did this because last week I almost fell victim to a scam. And because I trusted my gut and I paid attention to the clues, I was able to avoid it. So I want to tell you guys about what happened. So early last week, I had someone reach out to me via email asking me whether or not I still do event planning for parties and that they wanted to plan a party for their wife's 40th birthday. So I got back to them and I said, hey, yes, I do still do event planning. Could you fill out my contact form just for me to gather some more information about your event? If you're not familiar with a contact form, it's typically what event planners and other people in this industry use to gather information about your event. Like it asks details like dates, what type of event you're planning, what services are you interested in, things like that. And then what I do with my contact form is once I receive it, I review it. And if I'm available on that day and it's something I can do, I then reach back out to the client, asking them to schedule a complimentary consultation. So I sent that over, the link to the contact form over to them, and they then responded back to me. And instead of filling out the contact form, they sent me an email, and in the body of the email, it listed all of the details for the event. It had the date, the time, where they wanted it to be in Dallas, and it also included like what vendors they wanted, like what they wanted for catering, for DJ, that they wanted a stage, what colors that they wanted. It was a very detailed list and a little bit too detailed for someone who doesn't plan events or doesn't really know what they're doing when they plan an event to have that already listed. And they also included a budget for it. The budget was for $17,000 to $20,000 total for the event, but the event was only for 60 people. So initially I thought, wow, that's a higher budget for an event for 60 people, but it is what it is. Maybe they just want a lot of really custom things and want it to be very like luxurious and classy, so they're willing to spend money on it. Again, I thought it was weird that they didn't fill out the contact form, but I just kind of let it go because the information that they did provide to me really gave me an idea of what they wanted, so I was able to schedule a consultation call with them. So I got back to him and I said, hey, I'm available on your dates. Let's set up a call to talk about it. So I gave him some times that I was available to chat. He then responds back to me and tells me that he is available the next day. So I sent him an invite and then he responds to me, great, I'm looking forward to meeting you. So the next day comes. I think our meeting was scheduled for like maybe noon or something like that. So I get on the video call, and he does not show up. I waited maybe like 10 minutes. I emailed him to see if it was still a good time for him or if he needed to reschedule. He did not get back to me, so I got off the phone. Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed when he did not show up, just because anytime I get an inquiry from someone, I'm always super excited to meet them, just because I'm going to be able to create something beautiful for someone, and I always look forward to doing that. So I was a little bit down about it, but kind of got over it quickly and just kind of moved on. So maybe about an hour or so later, he then emails me back and says, could I send him the link again? So I sent him the link, and then I get back on Zoom, and then he joins. I'm on video, and he does not turn on his camera. He is on audio. So he gets on the call. He's super jovial and like friendly, you know, saying, you know, Happy New Year to me, and, you know, just kind of, I guess, praying for me really for a good new year. So he seemed really nice and friendly. I asked him, you know, how did you hear about me? And he said, I heard about you from someone. And I said, oh, who referred you? And he said, Anna. I'm like, Anna? I don't know an Anna. But I'm like, oh, maybe it's maybe it's someone who I did an event for, and maybe it's a friend of theirs or a family member of theirs or whatever. So I started asking him questions about him and his wife, like, tell me more about you and your wife and your relationship. And he tells me like how his wife is so amazing and that he really loves her. They've been together for a long time, that he really wants to make a 40th birthday party special for her. It's going to be a surprise. He wants it to be super elegant and classy because she's that type of woman. She likes to dress very well. She likes good things. She likes luxurious things and everything. And he just wants to make sure he's able to put together a party that's amazing for her, but he doesn't have the time or and does not know how to put the party together. So that's why he wants an event planner who can just handle everything. So I said, okay, great. I can do that. And so as he's talking and explaining these things to me, I'm noticing an accent. So when he initially reached out to me, his name on Gmail said Reyes Alfredo. So when we got on the call, again, that's what he tells me his name is. So hearing that name, you would think that this person may be Latino. And also on his Gmail profile picture is a photo of a Latino family. So I'm thinking he's, of Latino descent. So I asked him, I'm like, oh, I hear an accent. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? And he said, oh, I'm from Spain. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I've never actually met anybody from Spain before. But when he says this, I'm still thinking like, this is a really strange accent. This doesn't sound like what I would expect somebody from Spain to sound like. It doesn't sound like a Spanish accent. But again, I just kind of like, okay, it's a mental note that I'm just kind of making that it's a little bit interesting. So as we're on the call too, I'm noticing that I'm hearing a lot of background noise. It sounded like he was maybe at a garage or a workshop. I'm just hearing a lot of noise in the background. So I figured maybe he's at work or he's doing something outside. And he's not in his office, or he's not in a quiet place to talk to me. And I didn't ask him where he was. So we continue the conversation. He's telling me the details that he wants for the events, and I'm asking him additional questions. One question I remember asking him was, where in Dallas are you looking for a venue to be? And he said, just Dallas. I'm like, okay, do you have an area like Plano? Are you looking downtown Dallas? Where are you looking for? He said, just Dallas. It doesn't matter. I'm like, okay. I guess anywhere is fine. So it was just very general answers that he was giving me. So we continue the convo, and once I get all the details that I need for the party, I then tell him about my services that I feel like would kind of fit what he's looking for. So we go over my services, and I asked him, which one of these sounds, good to you? He said, the second one sounds great. I want to go with that. I said, okay, perfect. Steps, I will send you over a contract. I'll also send you an invoice for the retainer so you can get that sorted, and then we can go ahead and start planning. He said, okay, that sounds wonderful. So I said, when should I expect to hear back from you? He said, if you send me the contract and the invoice today, I'll go ahead and do everything today. I said, awesome. So I asked him if he has any additional questions. He says no. So as we're wrapping up the call, I'm noticing the background noise that I heard in the beginning of the call has gotten a lot louder. And it sounds like he's in a very busy area. I'm hearing a lot of honking, a lot of noises. It sounds like he's on a busy street. And like I said, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I know there's nowhere in Dallas that sounds like that at that time. And then also, as he's talking, his accent just continues to sound strange to me. His accent honestly sounded like it was West African. I know what a West African accent sounds like. My parents are both from West Africa. I'm married to a West African guy. I've been to a few countries in West Africa. I know what a West African accent sounds like. I also know what a busy street in West Africa sounds like at night. It's very busy. There are people who are honking everywhere. It sounds like a lot of background noise. It's very bustling. There's a lot of noise that you hear. So again, I'm thinking all of this in my head that this is all funny. This all sounds strange. But I give him the benefit of the doubt. So I told him, I'll go ahead and send over an agreement, the retainer to you, and we can go from there. He said, okay, great. We get off the phone. Immediately, I get off the phone. I'm like, this is really fishy. This is not sounding legit to me. This sounds really, really weird. So then I go on a whole tangent. I'm like, yeah, something's up. So I go on TikTok and I look at, I research what other people who are in the events industry experience when it comes to scams. And I came across this one woman's video who is a wedding planner. And she had a very similar experience to what I had, where somebody reached out to her via email. They did not fill out the contact form. Instead, they just sent a very detailed email of what they wanted. And instead of that person getting on a call with her, that person did not. So her person did not get on a call with her, mine did. So that was the main difference. But still, I was a little bit confused. I'm like, okay, so what's the actual scam? Like, what are they gaining from this? So with additional research, I found out that what they do is, let's say your retainer is $3,000. They pay the retainer, they sign the contract, and instead of paying the retainer for $3,000, they do an overpayment. So instead, they send you like $5,000. They will then reach back out to you and say, hey, I accidentally sent you $2,000 additional. Could you send me that $2,000 back? So if you are unsuspecting and don't know, you'll send them the money back. But what you don't know is the initial payment that they made for the retainer was either false and it doesn't actually post on your account, or they use a stolen credit or debit card that they got, I guess, off the black market or whatever to pay for it. So by the time you realize all of this, they have gotten your $2,000 from your own money. They've dipped and said deuces, and you will never see that $2,000 again. That's the scam. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm catching on. I see what he's about to do. So ironically, a few minutes later, he texted me some photos of the decor that he wanted, because I told him to text me some inspo pictures when we were on the call. So he sent me the inspo pictures and he said, hey, Sophie. Actually, he didn't even say my name. He said, hello, my last name. And if you know anything about West African culture, a lot of the time people refer to you as your last name rather than your first name. So I'm like, okay. He clearly knows my name is Sophie, but instead of him to say hello, Sophie, he says hello, my last name. So he then says, here are the photos that you requested. So I respond back to him and I'm like, okay, great. How will you be paying for the retainer? He responds, oh, is a credit card okay? And I said, no, I only take Zelle. And his response was, oh, there's an issue with my Zelle. Surprise, surprise. I think at that point I had kind of checked out and I was just like, whatever about it. And I didn't initially respond to him. A few hours later, he gets back to me. He's like, hey, is that okay? So I said, oh, I only accept Zelle, but you fill out my contact form. And if you get on a video call with me, I can try to see what other payment method we can think about. And I said, does that work? He didn't respond. And at this point, it was kind of late at night, so I didn't figure I would get a response from him. So the next morning I wake up and I realized he didn't respond. So I texted him again. I'm like, oh, does that work? And he said, no, it doesn't. Sir, I didn't think it was going to work. I asked you that knowing it was not going to work. So he didn't message me back. I didn't message him back. At that point, maybe he clocked that I kind of knew what he was doing, just because my whole attitude kind of shifted once I really caught on to what he was doing or what he was trying to do. So that is my story. I say all of this to say, guys, really ask a lot of questions when you're doing your consultations and then when you're meeting with potential clients. There are people out there who are legit, of course, and really want to work with you and want you to provide services to them. But there are some really crooked people out there who are willing to take advantage of you, who are willing to steal from you with no remorse. And unfortunately, if I maybe was not paying attention to some of these signs, I probably could have fallen for it. So one, ask a lot of questions. Two, pay attention to everything, not just the questions that you ask them, but pay attention to what you're hearing in the background, what you're observing. Take all of that into account when you are meeting with people. And the third thing is just to be vigilant. Just know that not everyone has good intentions. Of course, we all think that people out there have the best intentions at heart, but there are really some evil people out there who are willing to just take from you without anything. So again, that's why I wanted to share this story with you guys about my experience, and hopefully it helps somebody else in the future. And yeah, let's not let these people get us in 2025.
Yeah, I decided just to add this storytelling video. It was a little bit longer, but in any case, guys, let me know in the comments below, do you like such long formats? Because I thought this information is pretty important, so this lady could got scammed, and it's another side of the coin when she's planning the event, and she event planner, and when she got scammed, but she have figured out that because she made a research, and I always say on this show, always make a research, guys. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this? She actually was, she acted like a professional. She did her research and she didn't get scammed. I think I'm definitely impressed of her attitude to this business. In any case, guys, let's dive to the next video and watch.
One of the biggest scams on the internet today is something you never thought would be a scam, and it's networking. People going to networking events and forcibly trying to meet others within the industry. It's not working, and it never really ever worked, ever. Best way to network is to organically and naturally meet people. And what's the best way to do that? The best way to do that is make little videos like this on the internet and put your message out there. And then you end up attracting all the people that already like you, and you probably like them too because they like your stuff, right? They're probably like-minded. Okay, so you can have a good conversation with them, then maybe end up doing business with them from there. The forceful networking and stuff like that, it's just so fake. It doesn't work efficiently. Like, I'm sure you can meet some people here and there, but the best way to do it is to put your message out there online, grow an audience, and naturally bring in the people that already are inclined to like you.
Yeah, good thoughts, good thoughts. Just bring the message online, and because of it, you can, do a good networking. I think this gentleman's completely right. Okay, well, let me know in the comments below what do you think about that, guys. Let's dive into the next video and watch.
Okay, let's talk about how a lot of these businesses and events or whatever, they take advantage of small black business owners. Because I'm a business owner. I've been doing this for a while now in New York City, y'all, everywhere, all throughout New York. And these people be hustling us. When I tell y'all throwing events is a new way of scamming, because they be collecting all the money and overcharging us small black business owners to where a lot of times we're just trying to break even at these events. When y'all go to these events and y'all see the vendors and all that other stuff or whatever, and you're wondering why the cost of these items is so high, it's because the vendor fees are high as hell. And we trying to cover the vendor fees just for us to break even and for us to get a profit. Sometimes I be like, we need to boycott some of these events. We up there boycotting Target and stuff, y'all. A lot of these businesses as well as events, they literally be hustling us, y'all. So recently, I just saw, it was like a group of girls. I guess they got like a female empowerment or whatever event going on in New York. And I was interested in vending, so I'll go research and see how much the vending fees cost. When I tell y'all these people was charging us $800, I said, who are y'all? I don't even know who y'all are. I just saw y'all on Instagram. Y'all are not the Essence Fest. If y'all ladies don't all go to hell because y'all are overcharging us vendors and y'all are taking advantage of small black business owners. If you gotta charge vendors all this much money, you need to get sponsors. You know what I mean? I understand that we live in a capitalistic society, but y'all need to get sponsors. Y'all don't need to be up there overcharging us damn vendors to where we paying everything for y'all, and y'all up there acting like, oh, well, we care, we support black business. No, y'all don't. Y'all are making profit off of us small black business owners to where we are still struggling. I don't care what celebrities are coming to y'all event. I don't care none of that stuff. Unless them celebrities are buying a hat, it could be Destiny Child. All three of them need to buy a hat and support me. I'm going to start doing a series where I break down costs of different events, y'all, for us vendors. And I low-key don't want to put everybody on blast. I may put some people on blast, people that tried it. But I'm going to break it down for y'all can really understand from a small entrepreneur's perspective how hard it is for us and how these people be taking advantage of us. But all right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, interesting thought from this lady. Guys, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. And let's dive to the next video and watch.
At this point, you cannot convince me that job fairs and hiring events are anything but a data mining scam. Because tell me why I was just in this situation. Hi, welcome to a hiring event for this company. Thank you so much for hosting this event. I'm really excited to learn more about this job. I did just want to give you my resume. Oh, thank you, but we're actually not accepting resumes at this hiring event. Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, I did just want to know more about the job, so I was wondering if I could ask some questions. Of course you can, but first I do just need to read this real quick thing. Okay, 1 second. This company is hiring for a variety of positions. Please scan this QR code now to apply. Scan the QR code? Okay. This is just the career page for this company, like the one I could have accessed at home. Yes, the QR code takes you to the career page for this company, which you easily could have accessed through Google. Oh, okay. Well, I was already on that page. That's how I found out about this hiring event. But since I'm here, there is one specific position I would like to ask you questions about. Could I just ask you a couple questions real quick? Specifically about this position here. This company has a variety of positions. Yeah, I heard that part. I'm asking specifically about this position. I was wondering if you could just maybe share some more information about it, just like from your perspective working for this company. I don't work for this company. You don't work for this company. Well, who at this booth does work for this company so I could talk to them? None of us do. We only work these booths. We don't work for this company. So to be clear, I woke up this morning, put on a tie, drove 30 minutes from my house to come to a hiring event staffed by people who do not work for this company in the parking lot of an Advanced Auto on a 90-degree day. You're not accepting resumes, you're just directing me to a QR code for a website I've already been to because the information about this hiring event was on this website. And I came here for this hiring event to scan the QR code to be directed back to the site where this hiring event was advertised. The website even said to bring a copy of my resume to this hiring event. I'm really just confused. Why are either of us here right now? Have you scanned the QR code? Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely interesting thoughts about that, guys. This is how this, events work, hiring events work. And let me know, have you faced the same hiring events in your life? Okay, guys, let's dive to the next video and watch.
Story time of how I almost got scammed as a balloon artist. Hi, I'm Haley. I'm the owner of Balloon Babes. I'm a balloon artist and balloon professional in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I almost got scammed this week, and it could have been $3,500 out of my pocket. Luckily, I caught the scam before I went through with taking a check or any money from anybody, and I did not get scammed, but this is just kind of a warning to other balloon artists and anybody in the event industry. Just always be aware of different scams and just protect yourself so that way you're not out of money for just trying to run your business. So I worked in social media for the past 8 years, and just being a 31-year-old, I feel like I'm pretty I know the scams. I know what they look like. I know where to look on an email to see if somebody's being sketchy and whatever. I kind of know the signs, and this one, I feel like the scammers, they're getting more creative, and it's kind of crazy. So let me backtrack this to where it all started. So I have a form on my website where people inquire about balloons, and if people are wanting to book balloons, that's where they go, is to my website. I have a link in my bio here and also on Instagram. So people will go to that link, fill out my form, which is also located on my website. And from there, that's when I usually will give them a quote on whatever balloons or event decor they're looking for. And we'll kind of go back and forth from there. But sometimes I do get emails randomly because I have my email listed on all of my social media platforms and my website. So I'll have some random people, usually it's older people who just aren't understanding how to fill out a form, which is okay. I prefer people to fill out the form because it's asking specific questions that I need to know: date, time, location, all that kind of important info that I have straight off the bat when you're inquiring about a balloon install. I kind of hate going back and forth and spending hours just trying to figure out what colors you want. So that's why I always lead people to this form. But sometimes people will email me and be like the date, time, all the colors, exactly what they want in an email. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. I'm not going to make them fill out the form if they have already told me all the information. So sometimes I will be like, okay, sure, I'll give you a quote based on your email. So, which is mainly older people who just don't understand how to use the form. Sometimes companies who have used me before also will just email me, which is totally okay. If I've worked with them before, I feel like it's a little easier. Like, I know they'll tell me like all the information that I need to know, so it's not that hard. But anyways, I get this random email from this girl named Brittany, no last name, which I was like kind of like, okay. It was from a Gmail account. It didn't look sketchy. It was just like Brittany something at gmail.com, which I'm like, okay. I mean, I have a Gmail, like other people have Gmails, but I was a little like, this is weird. But she did tell me all the colors, exactly what she wanted, the length of her balloon garland, like literally everything. The information, the time, the day, all that good stuff. Told me that she wanted 10 8-foot balloon garlands and she wanted them for a retirement party. And I'm like, okay, gee, that's a lot of garlands, but okay, like maybe it's more than just like a one-person retirement, you know, like maybe they're just doing balloon garlands in different areas of the event location. Who knows? Like maybe they have a couple backdrops they want different garlands on. I mean, I've done multiple garlands at specific large events, so this didn't seem like too much of a red flag, but I was also just like, wow, that's a lot. So I quoted her $3,500 for what she was requesting. And she was like, no problem, which I was like, oh my gosh, like most people will be like, okay, I need to go check with the team or whoever, or like, I don't know, like think about it, because that's expensive for balloons. Like, I'm a balloon artist. I mean, I know what I'm worth, but like, if you have that kind of budget to spend on balloons, I'm like thinking this is gonna be like a crazy party. I'm like, whoa, okay. I would love to do this for you, of course. And then the only thing she didn't tell me what was the location. And I was like, okay, so like, she told me it was in Scottsdale, but she didn't tell me the exact address, which some people right off the bat, they won't tell me their exact address, especially if it's at like a house or something like that. Like, people don't want to give out that information unless they're like ready to actually book, which I'm totally okay with, as long as they tell me like it's going to be in Scottsdale, like Old Town area, or Scottsdale, North Scottsdale. So she told me, and then I was like, okay, can you please give me the event address so I can work in the delivery and install fees for the final quote. And Brittany emailed me and was like, oh, yeah, so she sent me the address, and I looked it up, and I'm like, this is the Fairmont Princess. And I was like, okay, so you're having your party at the Fairmont Princess? That's fine. I just need to confirm with them. It kind of just seems sketchy, because like, if people are going to have their balloon installer event at a hotel, usually they'll just be like, oh, it's at this hotel or this resort or whatever. So I just thought that was kind of weird that she gave me the address, not the name. So I was like, okay, why didn't you just say the Fairmont Princess? Weird, but okay. And then I was like, this is just like sounding kind of weird. Like, I don't know. So anyways, I gave her the final quote and was like, okay, like if you're ready to book, this is where you send the deposit. You need to sign this agreement, blah, blah, blah. And she emails back, and this is where it gets weird, and this is like the biggest red flag. She emails back and is like, oh, so sorry, like our financial person is on maternity leave, so I don't know how to pay the deposit, but I can pay everything at once, which I do allow companies to pay everything at once if they're wanting to do a check or a wire transfer or something like that, or credit card. That's totally fine. But the thing that set me off was like that she couldn't pay any type of deposit, but she wanted to pay in full via e-check, and told me it was super easy to deposit the e-check. And I'm like, this is sounding kind of sketchy. An e-check and telling me I need to log in this way and that way. And I'm like, okay, no, like this is definitely a scam. Like, this girl, she was way too easy to accept the $3,500 charge, sent me a weird like address. Well, it wasn't weird, but like the way she sent it was weird. And then the fact that she can't pay a deposit and only can pay an e-check. Like, most companies can pay credit card, PayPal, physical check, and they'll say, okay, I'm going to send you this physical check from like our accounting department. They're going to give you a call, whatever. So I'm just like kind of weirded out by like this. And I'm like, okay, I need to double check with the resort. So actually, this was my fiance's idea. He's like, just tell her like you need to check on your insurance, which I know I do have balloon insurance or event insurance that I'm covered at pretty much every hotel and event venue, whatever. But I didn't want to like, if it was a real person, I didn't want to like scare them away, I guess. So I was like, to check with the Fairmont Princess to make sure that they take my insurance, and then we can go from there. What is the name of the company or the party under, so I can verify with a Fairmont Princess. After that, crickets, literally nothing. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like when they just be like, oh yeah, like it's this, if there was a real company and this isn't a scam. So anyways, I'm like, okay, red flag. I'm not hearing back from them for hours. I'm like, I'm going to call the princess. Actually, so my fiance called the princess and was like, oh, is there a retirement party on this date at this time? My fiance is a event balloon artist and she's having a client that's telling her that she's booked all these things and blah, 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 but it kind of seems like a scam. And the Fairmont Princess could not verify. They were like, oh, maybe, but like, I don't think so. So I emailed them back and said basically like, sorry, I can't take e-check, but I can take these other forms of payment. So please let me know if you're able to pay these ways and we can get you booked. To the event people at the Princess, I was like, okay, this is definitely like not a real thing. These people are trying to get me to cash this e-check and then cancel it. So then I owe them $3,500, which is insane to me. And it's just so scary that people are actually out there doing these things, especially as a small business owner. Make sure you are taking deposits, verifying with the company and event venue, and be aware of these scams. That's all I got for you guys. Love ya.
Yeah, another story time, guys. I decided to add this story too. You see, you need to make a research and check all the stuff, Go to the resort, figure out that do they really have this event or not, So do your research, guys. So do not be scammed. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like always, guys, be safe. See you in the next one, and bye for now.